Archaeologist
with Stephen Blondo. Hi, I'm Stephen. I'm an archaeologist. Let's answer a question.
What kind of work do you do on typical days?
Great question. Federal, state, or local laws say that archaeology needs to be done before completing a project. Most projects involve moving dirt, and so it's very important to make sure there isn't an archaeological site before it is disturbed by construction. The area we get to look at is determined by project plans. Even if a really nice site is located nearby, we can only look where the project is taking place. All projects start with background research. This is accomplished by visiting the State Historical Society, the State Preservation Office, and the State Archaeologist.
What? We have a state archaeologist?
Not only do we have a state archaeologist, but she's one of the many women who also work as archaeologists in the state and across the nation. Online research also takes place. We look at old photos and books, aerial photography, and plat maps to determine what used to be in the project area. We also look at previously recorded archaeological sites to see what types of sites have been found and what we already know. After completing research, we look at the project mapping and make a plan for fieldwork. Fieldwork consists of digging holes, like these small shovel tests, to see if there is an archaeological site in the project area. If we find a site, we dig larger holes called test units to learn more about the soils and artifacts that we have found. If we find an important site, we try to preserve it and not dig anymore. This usually involves changing a project. If it can't be avoided, we excavate the site and recover as much information as we can. Sometimes we even do winter archaeology by defrosting the ground and digging holes.
That sounds cold.
If there are old foundations, we photograph and map them to document what was there. These drawings and photographs can be compared to old maps to see what the building was. Digging holes helps us to look at the soils to see if they are disturbed or intact. All soil is screened to separate the soil from any artifacts that might be present. Artifacts are collected from sites and brought back to the lab. We measure the holes we dig and the soil stratigraphy, recording notes about what we see. Sometimes we use tape measures and sometimes we use GPS. This is an important step because as archaeologists we want to know where things are located, both within the area and how deep they are. In addition to taking photographs and notes, we draw a site sketch map to help us remember what the site looked like and what we found or didn't find. Sometimes field forms are used to make sure we write down all necessary information. It's important to remember we are scientists and work needs to be neat and organized. After we finish excavating a hole, we fill it back in to make it a safe place for people and animals who might be in the area. As I mentioned before, artifacts are bagged and labeled and brought to the laboratory where we analyze them. We like to separate prehistoric and historic artifacts and determine what categories they fit into, like lithics, ceramics, nails, earthenware, whiteware, glass, and so on. Sometimes we photograph artifacts to use in the report. Sometimes they end up in museums, on display for people to see and learn about our past. At the end of research, fieldwork, and analysis, we write a report telling other people what we did, where we looked, and what we found. Sometimes we don't find anything, and that's as important in our understanding of where people live as finding something really cool.